Number 15, Thief Through the Keyhole. In the reboot of the Thief series, you once again play the role of Garrett. As you slink around the Moira Asylum, which was originally a treatment facility for the insane and other mentally ill, in search of riches you come across another locked door, which you investigate through the keyhole before entering, when you are met with the sudden appearance of a ghostly-looking woman telling you that you shouldn't be there. There's not much backstory to the spooky spirit, but she's pretty terrifying. Number 14, Resident Evil 4 Lake Monster. Del Lago, Spanish for from the lake, was a massive, plaga-infected amphibian that lived in a lake near a Spanish village. In the popular survival horror, Resident Evil 4, as the player, when walking through the outskirts of the village, you start approaching a lake, in which you briefly see fish swimming in a group. What many people would tell first-time players is that you shoot the fish to obtain certain items. After shooting at the water for a few seconds, Del Lago shoots out of the water, devours the character, and scares the shit out of you. When this game was ported to PS3 and Xbox 360, the jump scare would award the player with an achievement, ironically titled, Don't Shoot the Water. Number 13, BioShock Infinite, Boys of Silence. The Boys of Silence are young men fitted with sense-enhancing helmets and are forced to act as watchmen. They are referred to as Elizabeth's children. They are in fact young men brainwashed from childhood and forced into total subservience. Thanks to Elizabeth's intervention, they also have limited control over tears, allowing them to partially control the lunatics of Comstock House and teleport out of existence after raising the alarm or being attacked. Booker DeWitt encounters them in Colombia during the course of BioShock Infinite once he reaches an alternative Comstock House. The Boys of Silence do not actually engage in combat. Their primary purpose is to keep watch over the facility, and the similarly brainwashed men in George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson masks, known as the Lunatics. Rather than fighting Booker directly, Boys of Silence summon the men to fight for them. If Booker enters a Boy of Silence's line of sight, it will stand still and focus on him. If he stays for too long, gets close to the boy, or attacks it, the Boy of Silence will let out a piercing scream and will teleport away. The most famous jump scare from the Boys of Silence occurs in the warden's office just after unlocking the gate to reach Elizabeth in the torture chamber. Once the switch to deactivate the lock is pulled, the player turns around and finds themselves face to face with a Boy of Silence, who immediately sounds the alarm and causes the player to be completely caught off guard. Number 12. Batman Arkham City, Scarecrow's Victims. Arkham City is entirely filled with criminals, which are either inmates or political prisoners, and is also filled with Batman's most popular enemies such as Penguin, the Joker, and more. Needless to say, it's a very dangerous place to be. The best jump scare of the game was given by a character that was absent for the entirety of it. The scare happens when the player finds a lone cargo ship, which holds crates of roaches and other fear-implementing ingredients. It becomes clear that the ship belongs to Scarecrow, another of Batman's well-known enemies. After entering the ship, the game suddenly enters into first-person view. The interior of is dimly lit by flickering lights, and towards the end of the ship you see an enemy thug sitting down with his head hanging. As a natural instinct, you approach the thug to try to understand what has happened to him. While the camera zooms in closer, he awakens quickly, gasps in horror, screams in agony, and convulses at the same time. All of this happens within a few short seconds. Then he returns to his original state, leaving only the racing heart of the player. Number 11. Dead Space. Necromorphs playing dead. During the survival horror, you play the part of an engineer named Isaac Clarke. The game is set on a mining ship in space after Earth goes into near extinction. After a distress signal is sent out, you board the ship to find most of the crew has turned into necromorphs, which are an alien parasite that can reanimate a dead body and mutate it in horrific ways. One of the features of the necromorphs is playing dead. While playing dead, they basically lay perfectly still on the ground. As you pass by, they suddenly pop back to life and scare the shit out of you. For unprepared players, this may seem like a quick death, but more than likely you'll be left on low health limping away until you find another one to finish the job, or at least give you another near heart attack. Number 10. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies, Mob of the Dead. Mob of the Dead, also known as Alcatraz Island and Sunset Strip, is the 15th Zombies map. It's included in the second Call of Duty Black Ops 2 downloadable contact pack, Uprising. The Easter egg known as Jump Scare occurs on the roof where the plane is assembled. The player is required to have a sniper rifle, such as the Baird M82A1 or the DSR-50, and they must proceed to the far end of the roof to the left of the runway. If the player scopes in on the firework display in the distance, a distorted picture of what appears to be Russman's face will flash up on the screen for a split second, accompanied by a high-pitched scream. Jump scares would later become a common feature in the Zombies map, later appearing in the map Origins, but this one left an impression on players who just wanted to watch some fireworks. Number 9. Internal Darkness, Bathroom Bloodbath Scene. Sanity effects are special features in the game set in place, with the sole purpose of messing with the player's sanity and making the game even more frightening. While playing as the character Alex, when you reach the second floor of the Roy Vass mansion and look into the bathtub, the camera makes a swift zoom inward as you come face to face with Alex's body in a tub full of blood, followed by a scream. Triggering this event does not alter your sanity meter, but acts as a sanity effect regardless. In a game riddled with eerie events designed to make your character go insane, this one stuck with players and made their palms sweat even more while traversing the dark corridors of the mansion. Number 8. Condemned, Criminal Origins, Body and Locker. While playing the part of an agent that works for a forensics team, you venture off to investigate an abandoned school in search of serial killers when you come across a closed locker. After opening the locker, you discover a body inside. As anyone would, you whip out your phone and take a photo of the body. Your colleague, Rosa Angel, tells you that you need to take a photo closer to the body's face to confirm its identity. Once you zoom in on the body, he awakens and grabs your arm, which creates an unexpected shock to the player and character. On the bright side, he has great information for you to aid in solving the case. However, nothing can remove the chills that you receive from the scare. Number 7. Outlast, Hanging Body. Due to a tip from a whistleblower, reporter Miles Upshur enters into a psychiatric hospital owned by a corporation to see what corruptions are occurring. Once he enters, he is horrified to see mutilated corpses of the staff. However, the most frightening scare occurs when he enters a darkened room and has to rely on his night vision camera. The first thing he sees when he peers through the camera is a hanging body and the remains of a SWAT team that was sent in to investigate the asylums themselves. A SWAT officer that was impaled tells you that you need to escape the horrors of the asylum. It proves to be easier said than done though. While this game is filled with many jump scares, this is the first one and it sets the mood for the terrifying story. Number 6. Five Nights at Freddy's, Golden Freddy. In the first game, Five Nights at Freddy's, Golden Freddy is one of the 5 antagonists and a special animatronic. Golden Freddy appears as a golden yellow character variation of Freddy Fazbear with missing eyes, who appears in the office after a certain sequence of events are triggered. A few wires/parts of the endoskeleton are visible, which share the same correlation as his accessories. His jaw hangs open, and his head is tilted to the right. He is also presented in a sitting slouch version as if he was dead. While checking Cam 2B, the player will see a poster on the wall. It can switch between 3 different versions: a normal picture of Freddy, a distorted picture in which he appears to rip off his own head, or a close-up of Golden Freddy's face. While this picture of him is being viewed, a young girl's laugh can be heard. If the player sees the Golden Freddy poster and switches back to the office, Golden Freddy will be waiting for them. His appearance causes different images to flash on the screen for split seconds, along with the words, "It's me." Golden Freddy will wait idly for a few seconds before killing the player, forcibly closing the game. Unlike all of the other animatronics in the game, Golden Freddy does not give any indication of approach or arrival within the office. He completely disregards the doors, appearing whether they are open or closed. Unlike the other animatronics, the screen will be covered by a static image of Golden Freddy's face upon attack, akin to the images that flash during Michael Smith's hallucinations. The moment the player sees him, the player must bring up the monitor before Golden Freddy kills the players. Doing so will cause him to disappear, thus preventing death in a game crash. Number 5. Mortal Kombat 9, The Crypt Monster. The crypt was added in the 2002 release of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. It is where you use the coins you collect as you play in order to purchase items such as concept art, videos, and even hidden fatalities and new characters. It returns in Mortal Kombat 9 with a completely new look. Unlike earlier games, this crypt is now broken up into 4 sections. There are not only graves, but torture devices that, when unlocked, activate and kill the victim. In one section, there are floating dead bodies that explode for different reasons, such as vultures picking at the enlarged stomach. In this game, at random times during one's visit to the crypt, a creature that most refer to as the Crypt Monster pops up and screaming at the victim before disappearing again. This jump scare happens within about a second or two, and is meant to parody inner flash pranks that are intended to scare the viewer. Number 4. Resident Evil Zombie Dog. In a zombie-infected mansion, during the team's attempt at survival, Jill Valentine is walking through a hallway when a zombie dog crashes through a window. Zombie dogs refer to domesticated canines infected with the T virus through its secondary method, the ingestion of infected food or living things. They contain much of their dog-like features, with an increase in aggression and agility. After the dog crashes into the hallway and startles the player, they must react quickly in order to avoid a deadly attack. This scene was great proof that there is no such thing as quiet moments in video games. Number 3. Fear, Alma and Ladders. Alma Wade is the key figure and main antagonist of the Fear series. Alma is seen repeatedly in Fear, often only out of the corner of the point man's eye, standing in shadows or darting quickly out of sight. Her appearances are almost always accompanied by scenes of extreme violence. This rapidly becomes extremely unnerving. Sometimes all that is heard is her soft, giggling laugh, or indistinct words whispered as though in the point man's ear. Alma appears most often as a young girl, but inside the Origin Factory, she is shown as an adult woman. The most popular jump scare rendered by Alma is when Point Man is climbing up a ladder and Alma appears through the window directly above him and reaches towards him aggressively. The fact that she comes out of literally nowhere, looks like the typical nightmare-inducing ghost girl, and lets out a horrible scream is enough to cause the player to jump. Number 2. Fatal Frame series, Broken Neck. Broken Neck is a hostile female spirit in Fatal Frame. Like many other ghosts that appeared in the game, not much is known about her, other than that she was not a member of the Himuro family, but a visitor to the mansion. Perhaps unusually, she was aware of the rituals being performed in the mansion. On the day of the ritual, Broken Neck was visiting the mansion as a guest. It is not known whether she was one of the people that witnessed the failure of the ritual at Hell's Gate or not, though it is likely that she was on the 2nd floor at the time of the ritual, as that is where she was before she died. She leapt to her death from the Moon Observatory. Why she committed suicide is still unknown, though many suspect that she had seen Himuro family master on his killing spree and got scared, choosing to take her own life rather than let him murder her. Broken Neck, like many of the ghosts in this game, gives many jump scares. For example, on the first night, after Miko comes out of the doll room, this ghost comes falling down from the 2nd floor, then attacks Miko. She's randomly encountered throughout the night, appears popping in front of camera out of nowhere and surprising Miko. She's randomly encountered throughout the nights, popping in front of the camera out of nowhere and surprising Miko, since she laughs her sinister laugh after doing so. Number 1. PT Silent Hills, Lisa Jump Scare. The PT, or playable trainer, for Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro's new installment in the Silent Hill franchise, features a terrified and tormented ghost named Lisa. In PT, the player seems stuck in an endless loop of a creepy-ass hallway that only seems to get worse. Lisa pops up at random moments throughout the game, which makes each playthrough more unexpected than the last. However, the most shocking jump scares is when Lisa appears out of thin air to deliver a breathtaking shock and send players back to the starting room. There have been rumored ways to avoid this scare, but where's the fun in that? Got an idea for a top 15 list? Be sure to leave it in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for future videos. Thanks for watching.